Hey guys, in a little bit I'm going to be sharing with you guys an interview that I had with one of my friends from high school who is still in high school, and we sat down to talk about what it's like doing online learning because of COVID. So, without further ado, let's go.
And you're with your online schooling, so you're doing online schooling, right?
We are, yeah. Our school's doing
Okay.
online.
So what's your routine like when you do that?
So last semester it was a little different from this semester. So this semester we are doing starting at usually around 7:30 or 8:30, depending on whether or not we have a 0 hour class. And this schedule this semester is a lot more compact and a lot more. There's a lot more classes to do each day. Compared to last semester, we would have usually around 3 classes per day, and they'd be hour-long sessions. And the classes would usually start at 9 or 10, depending on 0 hour. So this schedule this semester is a lot more accustomed to a real school schedule, and that we would start earlier. We would have all our classes of one day. So yeah, it is pretty interesting to see how things have changed, but I think this semester having the more compact schedule has kind of helped me be more productive, and I think it's been really helpful.
That's cool. So let's see. So then, I know you were in cross country this year. So then how did that work out?
So it was definitely unique to tell you the truth. We started off the season kind of not knowing when it would actually start. It was kind of being pushed and pushed till we would actually get approved from our school system. But when it eventually did start in late August, we would come in every day. We would get our temperature checked, and we would ask questions on, COVID-related stuff. And so after that, we would go into our practice. We would keep our mask on while we're stretching, and then when it came time to run, we would take them off, and we would all kind of run in small groups. And we did get kind of accustomed to running side by side even more, which is kind of bad in a way, but I think it ultimately felt like it made it feel more like a normal season. And so with the meets, we would usually it started off as 2 teams competing against each other, and then as the season progressed, we got into conference and sectionals. There was a lot more teams competing with the safety of COVID guidelines.
Okay. Yeah. So I know you're also in band. So how did that work out?
So in band, it's been weird too. For the most part, it's all been virtual. We would have practices for marching band over the summer, doing it virtually, and we would have to learn the music kind of on our own. And with our band director, he would play the music, and we would have everyone muted. All the students would be muted, and we would play along with him. But as school started, we would do that during class, and then at the end of marching band season, we actually had the awesome opportunity to go in person, being socially distanced, and having cloth against our bell covers. I played the trumpet. We would have cloth to not allow spit to come out, and it was really cool once we got to see everyone each other in person. This happened 2 times, and it was a really good experience. And now it's the same thing with regular band, and jazz band is pretty much similar. Is pretty similar. So yeah, that's pretty much the experience that I've gone through.
Okay. So then with your online schooling, do you get breaks in between for lunch or any of that kind of stuff?
Yeah, it's actually it's a lot longer of a break for virtual classes rather than when we were doing things normally, because the class periods would usually be 45 minutes or 45 or 55. I'm pretty sure it's 40. It was 45. But last semester the classes would go from 10 to 11, 11 to 12, and from that 12 to 1 period we would have that lunch break, and then after that we would have 2 more classes to finish off at 3 o'clock. And this semester it is a lot different in a way. So depending on your schedule, some people have lunch different periods like 4th, 5th, or 6th, and they have those 4th, 5th, or 6th periods throughout your day. So if you have a period of lunch, which I do in 6th period, I get a little extra time. Usually on some days, I think Tuesdays and Thursdays, lunch will be from 11:30 to 1:30, which is pretty long. But on other days, it will be from 12:30 to 1:30.
Okay, so would you say that I don't know, do you like the online schooling, or do you prefer it to be like in person? Like, what do you think?
I definitely like not having to worry about, kind of picking out clothing every day. I mean, I obviously do, but I feel like it is a lot easier to kind of not worry about doing, the necessary things of traveling to school. And I think it's also bad in a way because you're waking up in an environment, whether you're learning in your room. So say you're like at a desk in your own room, you have your bed right next to you. You're kind of in that mindset of being like your room isn't really meant for work in a way. In school for learning, you're not used to it. Obviously, over the year, we got more used to it, and overall, I think I like this semester a little more because it feels a little bit more normal because we're waking up early. I definitely like the extra sleep last semester. I think it is important for all of us to get enough sleep, especially for teens. But if anything, I definitely would have preferred my senior year to be in person. I feel like it would have been a whole lot more enjoyable, especially with social interactions.
Yeah, definitely. So then, is it still your classes start at 8 and then end at like 3 o'clock then?
Yeah, I mean, well, it's actually I start at 7:30. Other people start at 8:30, and then school actually ends at 2:30.
Oh, okay.
Rather than 3. Yeah.
So then, with it being online school, so then with all the homework and everything, then do you turn it in like that next day, or how does that work?
It depends on the class, but some classes will have the due date for all the work. For example, my environmental science class has all the work due on a Saturday. My business class has all the work due on a Sunday. So that's kind of something I don't like. I feel like, the weekend should be a time for you to relax and not have to worry about getting work done that day. Because usually in person, I would have work assigned to me for that weekend, but I would usually wait until Sunday, so I have that whole Saturday to kind of have a break. But in my other classes, they will have work due throughout the week. Last semester in my psychology class, it was really hard to get my work done because we would get assigned work each day, even though we didn't have the class each day. So it was confusing because we had to catch up on our own. And I think this semester it's a lot easier because we have those classes pretty much every day and for the teachers to update us. So that is really kind of what the homework situation is.
Okay, so then going forward, so after the high school for you, do you think doing this online schooling would kind of help with transitioning into college and everything then, with all the different days you turn in your homework and stuff like that?
I do think it would help in a way. I think I was definitely more on top of things in person, so I think being in person would have prepared me even more. I know in college I'm not entirely sure, but I know in college you'll have work due on certain days, like high school usually is. So I think depending on what the work is and when it's assigned, I think having that experience of having work due, after a week or the next day, having both those experiences will ultimately help me in college. But honestly, I'll just have to wait and see, and you might be able to tell when your homework is assigned, and that's pretty much it.
Alright, so that's pretty much it. So it was really interesting to kind of find out everything that goes on with this e-learning and how it kind of benefits and kind of hinders everyone in their day-to-day and in their future. So I'm gonna link his video that he made on his channel about his life and how he's doing down below in the description, so you can go check him out, give him some love, and subscribe to him. But also subscribe to me, give this video a thumbs up, and that's about it. So until next time, bye guys.